So here is a question now that should test your knowledge of both and or scenarios within a single sort of overriding scenario. So we sort of have and or sub scenarios within this larger overall scenario. So this question says Ace Automotives manufactures only cars and motorcycles. Warehouse A contains 9 cars and 6 motorcycles. One vehicle is randomly selected from Warehouse A and transferred to Warehouse B, which already contains 3 cars and 4 motorcycles. If one vehicle is then to be selected from Warehouse B for a random spot inspection, what is the probability a car will be picked? So to start here, I have to sort of diagram out this information. Visualize it. I have 2 warehouses. Warehouse A and Warehouse B. And what do these warehouses look like before we made any of our changes? And so to start, Warehouse A has 9 cars and 6 motorcycles. And Warehouse B has 3 cars and 4 motorcycles. So what makes this problem a bit complicated? It's they're asking us for this single probability, right? The probability that a car will be picked from Warehouse B. However, that probability it's sort of conditional, right? It depends on what car was selected from Warehouse A. So we can sort of think about the ways I can pick a car from, or the probability that I pick a car from Warehouse B depends on 2 things: whether or not I select a car from Warehouse A or I select a motorcycle from Warehouse A. But between those things, that should represent 100% of my options for how I can select a car from Warehouse B. And so those are the only 2 things that I need to take into consideration. So let's say I pick a car from A. That's the first thing I want to know. Then so in each case, we're talking about picking a car from B. But in our first case, we want to talk about that after I've picked a car from Warehouse A. And then in our second scenario, we want to talk about the probability of getting a car from B after picking a motorcycle from Warehouse A. And so these are my 2 sort of sub scenarios. So what are these 2 probabilities? And so this would be the probability of picking a car from Warehouse B after I picked a car from Warehouse A. And so that's an and scenario, because that's saying what's the probability of picking a car from Warehouse A and then picking a car from Warehouse B. So the probability of picking a car from Warehouse A should be 9 out of 15. Now, once that car has been moved to Warehouse B, what is the probability of picking a car from Warehouse B? So now I have 4 cars in Warehouse B and 8 vehicles total. So that should be a 4 out of 8 chance of picking a car from Warehouse B. So overall, what is the probability that this sequence of events will occur? So it should be 9 over 15 times 4 out of 8, which is 3 over 5 times 1/2. That's 3 out of 10. This scenario here has a 30% chance of occurring, this sequence of events. So what is the probability of this sequence of events here, where I pick a motorcycle from Warehouse A and then a car from Warehouse B? So the probability of selecting a motorcycle from Warehouse A, so I have 6 motorcycles here, so 6 out of my 15 vehicles are motorcycles. And then once that motorcycle is moved here, well, now I have 8 vehicles in warehouse B, 5 of which are motorcycles. And so the probability of selecting a car from warehouse B is going to be 3 out of 8. Because remember, the question's asking, where's the probability of picking a car from warehouse B? So this sequence of events, motorcycle from warehouse A and then a car from warehouse B, should be 6 over 15, which is 2 over 5, times 3 over 8. And 2 over 8 is just 1/4 out of 20. And so these represent 100% of our possibilities of how we can get a car from warehouse B. Therefore, we can think of it, we're saying we can get a car from warehouse B this way or this way. So we are adding these two probabilities together. And so 3 over 10 is really 6 over 20. 6 over 20 plus 3 over 20 gives me a 9 over 20 chance overall of selecting a car from warehouse B. You can almost think of it like I have a 60% chance of having a 50% chance of selecting a car from warehouse B, or I have a 40% chance of having a 37.5% chance of selecting a car from warehouse B. So those are and or scenarios. Both of these first two videos were a bit long, but I would also say they represent about 75% of what you need to know for probability on the GMAT. We'll talk about a few more scenarios in the next few videos.